We've all absolutely been there, right? It's 2 a.m. on a deployment night. The caffeine has completely worn off, and everyone is just sweating bullets, crossing their fingers, and hoping the new software release doesn't completely crash the system. Well, in today's insanely fast-paced digital world, businesses are under this intense, constant pressure to deliver high-quality software, and they need to do it rapidly, ideally without the collective heart attacks. It's a literal make-or-break reality. If you can't keep up with the demand, you are going to fall behind the competition. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today in this explainer on the DevOps Catalyst, accelerating quality and delivery speed.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with Section 1, the need for speed, followed by Section 2, what is DevOps? Then we'll break down Section 3, elevating software quality, Section 4, accelerating delivery speed, and we'll wrap the whole thing up with Section 5, the cultural impact.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, the need for speed, modern demands. So historically, we've had this massive divide in the tech industry. It's often called the classic wall of confusion. On one side, you've got traditional development. Those are the teams dedicated entirely to writing the code and actually creating the software. And then completely separated on the other side, you have traditional operations, the IT professionals who are responsible for managing and maintaining that software once it actually goes live. Now, because of this inherent gap, traditional processes really struggle to keep up with modern demand. They operate in these stubborn, isolated silos. And this division creates a ton of friction. It slows absolutely everything down, and honestly, it makes the rapid delivery of software feel like pulling teeth. So how do we fix a system that's fundamentally broken? Well, that brings us to Section 2. What is DevOps, the ultimate bridge? DevOps is the ultimate bridge that solves those traditional bottlenecks we just talked about. Simply put, it's a set of practices designed specifically to automate and integrate the processes of software development, the dev, and IT operations, the ops. But it's so much more than just mashing two words together. This methodology focuses heavily on collaboration, communication, and deep integration among developers and IT professionals. The ultimate aim here? To deliver high-quality software incredibly quickly and, most importantly, reliably. But how exactly does it pull this off? How does this methodology manage to actually enhance software quality on a technical level? Let's explore that in Section 3, elevating software quality, technical mechanics. DevOps achieves this massive elevation in quality through 4 primary mechanical pillars. We have CI/CD, automated testing, infrastructure as code, or IAC for short, and monitoring and feedback loops. Let's quickly examine how each of these specific tools and practices guarantees higher software quality. This perfectly illustrates the actual engine of DevOps, continuous integration and continuous deployment, commonly known as CI/CD. It goes like this. First, you have the initial event of writing the code, where developers are frequently merging their changes into a central repository. Then, within literally just minutes, that code runs through automated testing. If it passes, boom, we hit continuous deployment, where the code goes live to production in mere seconds. Finally, we have continuous real-time monitoring. By automating this entire pipeline, DevOps drastically reduces the time between writing code and deploying it. We are talking about shrinking a process that used to take weeks or even months down to minutes and seconds. It's a total game changer. Zooming in on that testing phase for a second, automating this process completely minimizes human error and ensures incredibly consistent results. By employing automated test suites, developers can quickly identify defects and verify that their brand new code integrates perfectly well with the existing systems. Honestly, instead of a human manually looking for a needle in a haystack, actually scratch that. It's more like having a tireless robot inspector that never blinks, checking every single possible scenario reliably and instantly. Moving on to our third pillar, infrastructure as code, or IAC. The core concept here is super interesting. It's treating your servers, your networks, and your databases exactly like software. IAC allows developers to manage and provision their infrastructure entirely through code. And by doing this, they ensure absolute consistency and drastically reduce those incredibly frustrating configuration errors. It basically creates a highly reliable and predictable software environment every single time you spin it up. And the fourth pillar is monitoring. Continuous monitoring of applications and infrastructure provides these vital, real-time feedback loops. These tools are absolutely crucial because they catch issues working behind the scenes, alerting teams so they can fix a bottleneck or squash a bug before your end users ever even notice a glitch. It meticulously maintains that high standard of software quality. Right, so we've secured the quality, but what about the speed? Let's shift our focus to the sheer operational speed DevOps unlocks in Section 4, accelerating delivery speed, unlocking agility. At the end of the day, it all boils down to this single truth. With CI/CD pipelines, new features and updates can be delivered to users faster. And this isn't just about convenience, right? It is literally about business survival. This level of agility allows businesses to respond to market changes and shifting customer needs much, much more swiftly than their competitors who are still stuck in those traditional siloed cycles. This kind of speed is achieved through a very clear, deliberate chain reaction. Step 1, foster true collaboration between development and operations. When you do that, you trigger Step 2, reduce time spent on handoffs and waiting for feedback. When your teams aren't waiting days or even weeks for an approval from another department, you naturally arrive at Step 3, shorten the overall development cycle. Eliminating those traditional waiting periods directly and dramatically accelerates the entire development process from start to finish.
But speed also comes from stability and flexibility. First, you actually get reduced deployment failures because thanks to automated testing and continuous monitoring, potential issues are identified super early. This ensures much smoother transitions without the need for those panicked, time-consuming rollbacks. Second, you gain incredible scalability and flexibility. The DevOps architecture itself allows teams to scale their applications effortlessly, easily adapting to sudden spikes in user demand without any significant delays.
Okay, we've talked a ton about the technology, but we really need to bring this explainer home by revealing a crucial truth. DevOps is just as much a human and organizational transformation as it is a technological one. So let's move to our final area, Section 5, the cultural impact, human transformation. Implementing DevOps is definitely not just about buying and adopting a bunch of new tools. It's about fostering a real culture of continuous improvement. Organizations that fully embrace this mindset generally experience 3 major cultural shifts: improved collaboration, increased innovation, and enhanced job satisfaction. Looking at that first shift, improved collaboration completely breaks down silos and fosters a culture of shared responsibility. The crucial takeaway here is that teams simply work together more effectively when those historical walls between dev and ops are finally torn down. It genuinely becomes a shared mission for the product's overall success, rather than just a department-to-department blame game when things go wrong. Next up is increased innovation. Because you have such rapid feedback and incredibly short deployment cycles, teams can finally experiment and innovate without the looming fear of long, costly delays. If a new idea fails, well, they know immediately and they can just pivot. This increased capacity for innovation gives businesses a massive competitive edge in the digital marketplace. Simply put, they can just out-innovate the competition. And finally, we have enhanced job satisfaction. Automating repetitive tasks frees up your human resources for much more engaging and productive work. When you remove all that tedious manual grunt work from a developer's plate, they actually get to spend their time building things and solving complex problems, which, let's be honest, is what they're passionate about in the first place. So I want to leave you all with a bit of a provocative question to reflect on. As technology continues to rapidly evolve, are your software processes truly ready to transform for the better? It is abundantly clear from our source material today that bridging the gap between development and operations is no longer just a nice-to-have, it's an absolute necessity if you want to meet the growing expectations of users and clients. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this deeper look into the mechanics and the culture of DevOps has you eager to explore these transformative solutions for your own organization. Catch you next time.